Good evening, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Welcome to TCM, where we've got another lineup of movies featuring Angela Lansbury. She is October's Star of the Month. Lansbury's screen career began in 1944 with her film debut alongside Ingrid Bergman and Charles Boyer in Gaslight, a performance that earned Lansbury an Oscar nomination for Best Supporting Actress. Over the next 7 decades, she hardly ever stopped working, dazzling in every role that came her way in movies, on television, and in the theater. She earned her 7th Tony nomination in 2010 when she was 84 years old. We begin tonight with a movie Lansbury made 4 decades into her career, from 1978, Death on the Nile. In 1974, the movie adaptation of Agatha Christie's novel Murder on the Orient Express emerged as one of the biggest hits of the year. It was a star-studded extravaganza with a cast led by Albert Finney as Belgian detective Hercule Poirot. Death on the Nile, based on another Christie novel, was an attempt to duplicate that success. Another actor came on board to play Poirot. Peter Ustinov leads the cast here, the first of 6 times he'd appear as Poirot, a character Ustinov loved to play. In Death on the Nile, Poirot finds himself cruising in Egypt with a variety of colorful characters, one of whom might be a murderer. Another all-star cast signed up for this one, including Angela Lansbury, Bette Davis, Maggie Smith, David Niven, George Kennedy, Mia Farrow, and Olivia Hussey. For Angela Lansbury, the project was particularly special because it's the only time she got to work with Peter Ustinov. Now, decades earlier, when Ustinov was training to become an actor, he went to school in London with Lansbury's half-sister, and they got married. So for 10 years in the 1940s, Peter Ustinov was Angela Lansbury's brother-in-law. They stayed friends after the Ustinovs' marriage ended. Here they are together in 1978 from director John Gillerman, Death on the Nile. At the time Death on the Nile premiered in 1978, moviegoers hadn't seen Angela Lansbury on the big screen in 7 years. Her last film had been the 1971 Disney fantasy Bedknobs and Broomsticks. That also turned out to be the last film she ever made in Hollywood. Her subsequent movies were shot elsewhere in the States and around the world, mostly in England. 1971 proved to be a pivotal year for Lansbury. Her professional life in the theater had taken off. She won 2 Tony Awards in the late 1960s for her starring roles in the musicals Mame and Dear World. Her personal life, though, wasn't in such good shape. Her house in Malibu, which she shared with her husband Peter Shaw and their 2 children, burned down in a brush fire. Worse, her teenage children had become addicted to some serious drugs. Given all that, Lansbury decided to make a major change, moving the family out of California, away from Hollywood, back to her mother's homeland in Ireland. She bought a remote country house in County Cork, which her family settled into. The move totally changed the dynamic of their family life. Her children got clean and recovered, finding a degree of peace they hadn't known in Los Angeles. Lansbury spent most of the 1970s working on the stage, ending the decade with another Tony-winning Broadway triumph, playing Mrs. Lovett in Sweeney Todd. Coming up, Lansbury joins Rex Harrison and Kay Kendall in an MGM comedy from 1958, The Reluctant Debutante. Next on TCM.
Next on TCM, The Reluctant Debutante, then All Fall Down, and later, The Hoodlum Saint. Angela's a blessing on TCM tonight.